My name is Diana Li Fitzgerald. What I do is I make sure people know ahead of time is that I'm not doing anything traditional. So I call it Patchwork Sashiko, but it's not really traditional Sashiko. I like the upfront process of making a design, designing something, testing it out and making samples. Not everyone, and I don't blame them, but they don't understand how much time it takes to do the upfront part. A small 5x7, that could take up to 3 hours if you just work continuously. But honestly, the whole idea is that it's not really something where you're going to sit down and try to do it all at one time. It's a slow process. My opinion is that I try to use what I have. I think that forces you to be more creative than if you can just go to the store and buy what you need, right? So my textiles, the patterns that I've designed are specifically designed to utilize the textiles that you make from my kits. So they're specific sizes. In my Etsy shop, you can also get kits. So if you're interested in learning how to do this, there's a manual that you can get. There's a PDF or a print form, which include all of your consumable materials. It comes with needles, it comes with thread. This is the very first one that I made using this method. So you might notice there's a lot of fraying going on, but that's the goal. So I want it to look that way. There's a bag that has a flap on it, and that uses a 5x7 kit. When you're done making the textile, you only have maybe 10 or so left. So I would say that textile itself uses at least 30 to 35 pieces. When you're sewing, it isn't always the same each time, even though you're using a pattern. My focus is to do one-of-a-kind things. My latest pattern that's just released, and so it's kind of like a sling bag or a fanny pack, if you might call it that way. But I really wanted to, all of my patterns showcase the textile on the front. You'll see on here you have lots of raw edges, small fabric pieces, but it's all held together because you have this uniform stitching. And this is very stable. I teach the two patterns that I have, and then I teach the Patchwork Sashiko class. Yeah, very hands-on. I walk around and help people one-on-one. I typically have like an online class to learn how to do the Patchwork Sashiko. I always tell people that once you've made the textile and you've used it for something, keep the scraps, because then you can use those scraps for something too. If you were doing regular hand stitching, you would, and I do this motion, you go down, up, and you're not doing any of that. I like to think of this as more like a little wave motion. You can find me at banjoflannel.com. It's a strange name, means nothing, has nothing to do. I do play the banjo a little bit.